Very good. Good morning, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I will determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you are the person who committed the crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, I presume that you are innocent. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the State Attorney's Office can prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this morning, that is your bail or bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you haven't had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Y'all solemnly swear affirm to tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Outstanding. When I call your name, please step forward to the podium. Come on, Carlos, you got something?
Yes, Your Honor. There are two inmates, and the interpreter, Guillermo Casio, will be interpreting this.
Okay. Which two? Do we know who the inmates are?
One is Cuevas Padrón.
All right, that's number 2. Who's the other?
And Rodriguez Serra.
All right. Very good. And Marcela Rodriguez Serra, please step forward.
Señor Rodríguez Serra, por favor, pase adelante.
And first of all, Madam Interpreter, I'll use this right here. Solemnly swear affirm to faithfully translate Spanish to English, English to Spanish.
I do.
Very good. All right. And Ms. Rodriguez Serra, what is your date of birth?
Señora Rodríguez Serra, ¿cuál es su fecha de nacimiento?
Enero 25 de 1986.
The 25th of January of 1986.
The first issue we have for her this morning is a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for 1 count of scheme to defraud.
Lo primero que tenemos que mencionarles es que hay una orden de captura expedida por el juez Toner que encontró motivo fundado para un cargo de ardid para defraudar.
Then we have 4 new charges. The first is keeping the place for the manufacture of a controlled substance.
Y tenemos 4 cargos nuevos. Uno es salvaguardar o guardar el lugar donde se está haciendo o fabricando alguna sustancia para comprar, para vender.
The second charge is cultivation of cannabis.
El segundo es el cultivo de cannabis.
Third charge is possession of cannabis with intent to distribute.
El tercero es tenencia de cannabis con la intención de distribuirlo.
And the fourth charge is possession of paraphernalia.
Y el cuarto es tenencia de adminículos de drogas.
There's probable cause for those charges.
Hay motivo fundado para esos cargos.
As to all of your charges, do you wish to represent yourself? Do you plan to hire private counsel? Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Con respecto a todos estos cargos, ¿se va usted a representar usted misma o quiere contratar un abogado particular o quiere que yo le nombre un defensor de oficio?
No me contestaron las llamadas o será un abogado de oficio.
My calls have not been answered, so I would like a public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender.
Voy a nombrar al defensor de oficio.
And state any criminal history.
Your Honor, there's no record showing. However, this morning I received a phone call from Detective Lieutenant Kraft.
El juez pregunta que si hay antecedentes penales. El fiscal indica que no hay ningún expediente de antecedentes penales, pero que recibió una llamada de un detective, un lugarteniente.
He understands that a monetary bond would be set. However, he's requesting a significant bond. Without giving away too much, the investigation is still going on. He said that there is significant personal ties to Cuba, passports, identification that were found. There's also significant information showing that there were a lot of illicit funds that are available and more that could be available that they're still trying to determine. There was actually a machine for making credit cards, scanning them. There's a lot of that stuff that's still going on as far as the investigation. And he would be available if you'd like to.
Your Honor, may the interpreters begin to interpret? Y señora, el fiscal está pidiendo que haya una fianza significativa, porque, y sin dar muchos detalles a la investigación, todavía la investigación continúa. Usted tiene enlaces estrechos con Cuba, tiene un pasaporte, tiene identificación y hay bastante información que indica que hay fondos ilícitos disponibles para usted y que hay aún más fondos disponibles porque se encontró un aparato, un dispositivo que puede crear tarjetas de crédito, los puede escanear.
And, Your Honor, Detective Kraft said he would be available tomorrow if the court would prefer to hear some of his testimony as far as what they've discovered before or to set the bond or to reset the bond at that time.
Y el detective Kraft indica que él podría entrar a testiguar el día de mañana si el juez desea escuchar algún testimonio en cuanto a las pruebas que tienen ellos para poder refijar la fianza.
And ma'am, I have an address for you on Finland Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you were living?
Tengo la dirección de Finland Drive en Spring Hill. ¿Ahí era donde usted vivía?
Sí,
Yes.
How long had you lived there?
¿Cuánto hace que vive allí?
1 año y algo.
1 year.
Do you have a job?
¿Tiene trabajo usted?
Sí.
Yes.
What do you do?
¿A qué se dedica?
Hago advertising.
I do advertising.
And ma'am, are you a Cuban citizen?
Señora, ¿es usted ciudadana cubana?
Sí.
Yes.
All right. On the warrant that Judge Toner signed, I will set the bond at $4,000.
Por la orden de captura que firmó el juez Toner, voy a fijar una fianza de $4,000.
The condition of that bond is that before you would bond out, you would make sure that you had turned in your Cuban passport if that hasn't been turned in already.
Y como condición para esa fianza, antes de que pueda pagar la fianza y salir, usted tiene que entregar el pasaporte cubano si es que no lo ha entregado todavía.
And additionally, you would be subject to GPS monitoring while you're out on bond.
Y usted estaría bajo monitoreo de situación por satélite o GPS mientras esté bajo fianza.
On the 4 new charges, I'll set the bond on the first 3 at $10,000 each.
En cuanto a los 4 nuevos cargos, voy a fijar una fianza de $10,000 por los primeros 3 cargos.
On the fourth,
Cada uno $10,000.
on the 4th charge, I'll set the bond at $2,000.
Para el cuarto, entonces fijo una fianza de $2,000.
A condition on those bonds also would be that you turn in your passport and you're subject to GPS monitoring.
Y las condiciones para esas fianzas es que, vuelvo y repito, va a entregar el pasaporte cubano y tendrá que someterse a monitoreo por GPS.
So your total bond is $36,000.
Así que la fianza en su totalidad asciende al monto de $36,000.
All of these charges will be back in court on November 14th.
Y por todos estos cargos tendrá que comparecer de nuevo el 14 de noviembre.
If you do bond out, you should contact the public defender right away.
Si usted paga una fianza y sale, debería contactarse con el defensor de oficio inmediatamente.
Very good, thank you.
Ya hemos terminado, gracias.
Nada.
Thank you.
Jean Z. Cuevas Padrón. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
Buenos días, señor. ¿Cuál es su fecha de nacimiento?
Febrero 10, 1984.
Febrero 10 del 84, dice.
Sí.
The 10th of February of 84.
And he is also here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner, finding probable cause for scheme to defraud.
Y usted también está aquí por una orden de captura que firmó el juez Toner, acusándole de un ardid para defraudar.
And he also has 4 new charges.
Y también tiene 4 nuevos cargos.
The first is keeping of a place for the manufacture of a controlled substance.
El primero es para guardar o salvaguardar un lugar donde se está fabricando una sustancia regulada.
The second charge is cultivation of cannabis.
El segundo es el cultivo de cannabis.
Third charge is possession of cannabis with intent to distribute.
El tercero es la tenencia de cannabis con la intención de distribuirlo.
The fourth charge is possession of paraphernalia.
Y el cuarto es tenencia de arminículos de drogas.
There's probable cause for all those charges.
Hay motivo fundado para todos esos cargos.
As to those charges, do you wish to represent yourself? You're going to hire private counsel, or would you like the public defender?
En cuanto a esos cargos, ¿usted se va a representar usted mismo o quiere contratar un abogado particular o quiere que yo le nombre el defensor de oficio? No se acerque al micrófono que no se entiende. Repítalo sin acercarse.
El defensor de oficio.
I would like a public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender.
Voy a nombrar al defensor de oficio.
State any history.
No, Your Honor, and the same issues as the last defendant, the flyer got over.
¿Y tiene algún historial de antecedentes penales? No, su señoría, pero se presentan los mismos factores del último caso.
And sir, are you a citizen of Cuba?
Señor, ¿usted es ciudadano cubano?
Soy ciudadano americano.
I'm an American citizen.
And I have an address for you on Finland Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Tengo una dirección de Finland Drive en Spring Hill. ¿Usted vive ahí?
Sí.
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
¿Cuánto hace que vive ahí?
Un año.
¿Cuánto?
Un año.
1 year.
Do you have a job?
¿Tiene empleo?
Sí.
Yes.
What do you do?
¿A qué se dedica?
Hago mantenimiento de libre de una compañía.
Perdón, repítalo lentamente para que yo pueda entender.
Sí, me encargo de mantenimiento en una compañía.
I do maintenance in a company.
In the first case, which is Judge Toner's warrant, I'll set the bond at $4,000.
En el primer caso, que fue por la orden de captura del juez Toner, voy a fijar una fianza de $4,000.
With the condition that you turn in your U.S. passport before you bond out.
Con la condición de que usted entregue el pasaporte estadounidense antes de salir bajo fianza.
You also will be subject to GPS monitoring at your expense.
Y también estaría sujeto a monitoreo por GPS a expensas suyas.
On the 4 new charges, the bond will be $10,000 on the first 3 charges.
Y para los 4 nuevos cargos, la fianza será de $10,000 cada cargo por los primeros 3 cargos.
And $2,000 on the 4th charge.
Y $2,000 para el último cargo, el cuarto.
Also with the condition that you turn in your passport and you're subject to GPS monitoring.
También a condición de que usted entregue el pasaporte estadounidense y se someta a monitoreo por GPS.
All these charges will be back in court on the 14th of November.
Y todos estos cargos, usted comparecerá de nuevo en el tribunal el 14 de noviembre.
If you bond out, you should go see the public defender right away.
Si usted paga una fianza y sale, debería ir a visitar al defensor público inmediatamente.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Gracias.
And Jasmine Torres. Morning, Ms. Torres. What's your date of birth?
4/10/87.
Ms. Torres, you're here on a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself and hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD state.
No report of history.
All right. And Jasmine, I have an address for you on Redgate Street in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yeah,
How long have you been there?
about 5 months now.
And were you living with Mr. Cruz?
Yeah,
Do you have a job these days?
yes.
What do you do?
I'm a receptionist in a physical therapy office.
I'm going to set your bond at $100. Condition of the bond, Jasmine, is that you have no contact with Arthur. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact him through any social media, you don't contact him through a third person. Don't go where he lives, don't go where he works, don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting him, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond will be revoked and you'll be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if he wants the contact, so if you answer your phone and hear his voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see him, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that he cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision he gets to make. He may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. He may tell them he's not interested in pursuing this matter, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. In addition, I've got to hold it today up until 4 p.m. so that if you wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact because in that case, not only could you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. We'll have you back in court on the 8th of November. Very important, Jasmine, that when you get out, you contact the public defender's office, all right?
Okay, but how I go about staying away from him if we live together?
Okay, yeah, there's that too. Since you guys were living at the same place, if he stays there, you're going to have to find someplace else, but you can go by one time to grab your things, your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need for whatever other place you plan to stay at. If he goes away, you can go back, but if he's going to stay there, you got to find someplace else to stay. To accomplish that, you'd contact the sheriff's office first. They'd meet you there with a deputy who'd stand by while you picked up your things and got going where you're going.
But that's more my house than his. Can't they remove him?
I'm with you. I understand. But the law requires the no contact and leaves him in possession if that's the case, all right? Thank you, ma'am. Garrett Caruso. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
January 5th, 1988.
Garrett, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for possession of marijuana. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself and hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD, state.
Yeah, I've shown an assault in 2016, a violation of pretrial release condition in 2016, and an FTA in 2016.
And Garrett, I've got an address for you on Tournament Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
That's correct.
How long you been there?
5 or 6 months.
You have a job these days?
Yes.
What do you do?
I'm self-employed internet sales, and I'm also supposed to be starting a new job today
Okay.
with the tree service.
All right. I'm going to set your bond at $500. I'll have you back in court on the 8th of November. Make sure you check in with the PD when you get out, all right?
All right, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Look,
Jesse,
is it possible?
Go ahead.
Is it possible to get ROR? I'm waiting on a debit card to come through. That's
No, I cut it in half, Garrett. That's the best I can do for you.
All right, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Yep. Jesse Garcia. Morning, Jesse. What's your date of birth?
228.95.
Jesse, you're here on one count of felony possession of marijuana. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I'd like a public defender.
I'll point to PD, state.
I see no reportable history.
All right. And did you want to speak? Ma'am? Did you want to speak, or you just want to see what happens?
Oh, no, public defender, please.
No, hang on a second. Okay. Well, all we're going to do today, ma'am, is set him a bond, okay? Whatever happens after that will be up to him and his lawyer, okay? All right. Jesse, I have an address for you on Dow Lane in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
10 years.
Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I work at Burger King.
I'll set your bond to $500. I'll have you back in court on the 14th of November. Very important, Jesse, that you go see the public defender when you get out, all right?
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. 14th. Ryan Lonan. All right, Ryan, what's your date of birth?
7/15/71.
Ryan, I got two charges. I've got driving under the influence and driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, state.
Yeah, I see a Pasco DUI arrest 2016, but I don't see the disposition on that. Other than that, I don't see anything else.
Yeah, you got a refusal for a year. Brian, are you on probation out of Pasco County right now?
Yes, sir.
For DUI?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Reckless driving.
Oh, okay. They charge it down to reckless involving alcohol.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. There's your answer. And Ryan, where are you staying these days?
With my cousin in Lutz.
Okay. Is there an address in Lutz?
Yeah, it's 21526 Coot, C-O-O-T Drive,
Okay.
Lutz.
And are you working these days?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. I'm going to leave your bonds for the schedule, which is $1,000 on the DUI and $500 on the driving. The total is $1,500. I'm going to have you, pardon me, back in court on the 8th of November. If you get out, it's very important that you go see the public defender. I will remind you that you're also under an obligation to report to your probation officer in Pasco that you picked up new charges. They're going to find out anyway, so you might as well let them know, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Joshua Sizemore. Morning, Joshua. What's your date of birth?
May 1997.
Joshua, the charges felony possession of marijuana. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I'd like the public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
No report of history that I see here.
Joshua, I've got an address for you on Tree Line Drive in Hudson. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you been there?
About 4 years, I think.
And do you have a job these days?
No.
All right, Josh, I'm going to set the bond at $1,000. I'll have you back in court on the 14th of November. Make sure you go see the public defender if you get out, all right?
All right.
Thank you. Steve Yerkovich?
Sure.
Morning, Steve. Date of birth?
4/29/1967.
Steve, this morning I've got a felony retail theft, burglary of a conveyance, a petty theft, and a trespass. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I guess public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender, and I'm pretty sure he has open cases, right?
Yes, sir.
And they got case numbers for me? And they're on my docket as well. These aren't going there, but
17 CT 16.
let me know when they're coming back.
Well, I meant open in the sense that he's on probation.
Yeah, it is a probation.
Oh, okay, he took probation already?
Yes.
Okay, I thought they were still open, so...
We did it in Judge Ruby's court when you,
Okay, so he's bled out. So he's just on probation, but there's nothing open right now.
correct.
Okay. And so what's the... so he would have just started recently, in the last
Yes.
month or so.
Right.
Okay. All right. Steve, where you been staying lately?
In the woods.
Okay. You have any work these days?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Then on the trespass, I'll set the bond at $500. Split these up too. That's coming back on November 8th. On the petty theft, the arresting deputy set it at ROR, so I'll leave that there. That's also coming back on the 8th of November. On the burglary of a conveyance, I'll set the bond at $2,000. That's coming back on the 14th of November. And then finally on the felony retail theft, I'll set the bond at $2,000. That's coming back also on the 14th of November. And Steve, I don't know if you'd had any ability to bond out, but because you're on misdemeanor probation right now, they're gonna file a warrant before the end of the week for a violation of probation because of these new charges. When I sign that warrant, the bond on that will be no bond. So if you spent any money bonding out on these charges, you could lose it because you're going to get rearrested very soon on the violation of probation warrant, which will be no bond. But that, of course, will be up to you. If you do bond out, you should go see the public defender right away. If you can't bond out, they're going to come see you at the jail as soon as possible, all right?
Yeah, okay.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And then I have Kaylin Roberts. What are we doing, Ms. Roberts?
I believe we have a disposition judge of time served. She has a bed at CRC that's available this morning that I understand she's going to be taking advantage of.
Okay. You got a case number and a charge and time?
Case number, Your Honor, is 17 MM2695.
2695. Charge?
It is possession of the newer medicinal drug without prescription.
Okay.
M2.
I'm showing 3 days, Judge.
Okay. Okay. And Kaylin, you understand by entering a plea today, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, but you want to give up those rights so we can take care of this today?
Yes, sir.
Case number 17MM2695 as the charge to possess the new legend drug without a prescription. How do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
Yeah, no contest.
I'll accept that plea. Find is freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty. Sentence you to 3 days in the county jail with credit for 3 days served. Finding court costs will be $518, $100 for the public defender's office and your costs of incarceration. And you're now free to be released to the CRC, apparently. All right, David?
So, I can be released and go to the rehab today?
Not serious.
That's
Is what I'm
right.
understanding, right?
Rehab, wherever you're going, yes.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry. Very good.
She's going on her own.
Yeah.
Have a good day, Your Honor.
Thank you.